Oh, I got my sunglasses on, my giant water bottle right here. It's officially spring in New York City. Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So thrilled to be talking to you guys today. I think we're going to go over a few of my black boots. And when I say a few, I mean just a few. They're mostly black. There's one pair that's white and one pair that's like almost a cow print black and white, but mainly it's black boots. Those are my favorite shoes to wear, and I think they usually give you the best bang for your buck in terms of wearability, the amount of different outfits you can pull off with them, how long they last, how good they look, and a bunch of other factors. So I'll be talking to you about my favorite pairs of black boots today. Not the worst intro I've ever done. I'm going to be showing you first the first pair of boots that I ever got. These are the Winchester from Dr. Martens. And to be honest, I'm such a huge fan of these boots. They've served me so well over the course of 5 years now. One of the issues that I had with them, as I have with all Doc Martens you'll see in this video, is they started out being very uncomfortable, and then they never really got to that place where everyone says, okay, you break them in and then they're comfortable, because they don't really have a shank in them. They don't have a ton of support. I'm starting off with the bad, and I should really be starting off with the good. These look super sleek. They're combat boots. They've got a zipper down the side, which I think really increased usability for these. I've matched them with countless outfits, and the cap toe design along with the shine really gives it a look that you can either dress up or dress down very easily. They're very casual, but also very classy. These are a very elegant pair of boots, and they were a limited edition. My favorite part about these boots has to be that even though they're from Doc Martens, they lack the yellow stitching, which, I mean, if you love Doc Martens for the yellow stitching, that's fine. It's a stylistic choice, but I think it's so ugly. It's so ugly. It's just shouting to the world, look at this brand that I'm wearing, look at this identity I want to be a part of. And I don't have a problem with anyone doing that, but that's not how I express myself and my style. So I think it's important for me to find boots or pieces or clothing that is more form and more silhouette that expresses my sense of style, rather than, okay, here's a brand, or here's like a signature design of something like yellow stitching. If these boots were still in stock, I would definitely recommend you pick them up. However, since they no longer are in stock, I don't know if they'll ever come back, unfortunately, but since they're no longer in stock, I would suggest you go for like the Mono. There's a boot called the Mono. I have the sneaker version of it. There's a boot called the Mono. I'll have a picture somewhere up here on the screen somewhere. There's gonna be a picture of it. It's all black, there's no logos or anything. It's got a zipper down the side as well, or maybe it doesn't. I can't remember what the picture looks like. But there's a boot and it's got better support than mine. Honestly, I wish I had these ones over my Winchesters. The only difference is that they're matte, whereas the Winchesters have the shine, and I think the shine adds something, but the matte goes with even more options, even more clothes. And they're a great buy right now. If you have Doc Martens near you, definitely go in, try them on. They're super comfortable, and that would be my recommendation if you saw that boot that I have and you're like, I want that, but something similar. While we are talking about the Doc Martens, I might as well bring up my cowboy laced something bandana boots. I don't remember the original name of these, and it was another limited run that I caught my eye because it didn't have the yellow stitching on it. I was like, wow, these go up really high, they're really interesting, they're cool. They've served me well. I really enjoyed the possibilities that I saw in my mind with these. At the time, the Amiri Chelsea boots with the chain buckle and the bandana were super popular. Those and like a pair of YSL, and you were like the coolest guy walking around. So I put these together with that as kind of like a mood board in mind. I think I did a pretty good job, and I even made an old YouTube video about it like so many years ago. Oh my god. What I love about these boots is that they are personal to me. No one ever has made a pair of boots like these before. You could try and replicate it, but these really were like my first DIY project that I put together shoe-wise, and I'm very proud of it. Do I still wear these? Not really. They're super uncomfortable. Another problem that I have with Doc Martens, they just hurt. I broke them in for months, for like 8 months, right? And it just didn't do anything. There was no point where I was ever, yeah, these are now finally comfortable. No, they're super uncomfortable. Can't walk in them for more than an hour without my feet hurting. There's no support. The leather's good quality. I really like the buckle, but with the buckle, they would scrape up against stuff sometimes, and it would kind of chip away at the very cheap metal buckle that they put on these shoes. So these were kind of all style, no substance for me. They, honestly, if you're getting Doc Martens, I think you should go with the classic 1460 or more durable, less like frilly and, you know, these extra things added on, because I think you'll get more mileage out of those. Moving on from Doc Martens to the Polish boots, as I call them. These are Alter Core There's some name for them. I got them on a crazy sale. They were like $60 and they got shipped over here. Steel toe, like 12-eye, 10-inch, big beefy mofos. These are great boots. I love them. They look kind of like they have a cow print going on, but they don't really. I had to drill a hole through the tongue in order for me to lace these up properly, because I had some issue with the tongue. I don't remember what the issue was, but it kept like digging into me. So I had to go in and do some manual work with these shoes in order to make sure that they fit me properly. But after I did that, they're super comfortable. The Doc Martens logo is like with bouncing soles, or like they have like airwear. So their idea is, we're trying to give you a spring in your step, and that's their whole marketing pitch. However, I found with Doc Martens, it usually feels like you have a pair of cinder blocks on your feet, whereas with these, you have the weight of cinder blocks, but they actually make you feel like you're bouncing every time you take a step. They're great, I love them. If they were a different color, I could wear them more often, but since they're this really particular design, it makes them a little bit less versatile for me, but I still love them. I still wear them all the time, and I would wear these to a work site if I needed to do that. Super durable, love the altar cores, they're great. Moving on. This is a pair of boots I also got for around $60 at a thrift shop. All in, I've spent, I think, with the insoles and then the resoling process, I've spent on top of that, it came out to be around $160, but this is a pair of vintage Ferragamo boots that I got for a steal. And when I tell you that these are the most comfortable pair of boots that I have, I really mean it. They've got some wooden or metal shank in them that makes every step that much easier to take. They're broken in. I don't know what year they're from. I don't know what collection they're from. They're just these really great boots. They look very stylish, very avant-garde in some ways. I usually wear these if I'm trying to go for like a more out there alternative style. I call these ones my Guidi alternatives because they have that similar crinkled style to them. They're great. I've worn them maybe the most out of everything, unless we count like the years that I had the Winchesters. I don't know. These are like up there for me as like greatest boots that I've had. And I really think that thrifting can yield some great results. You might also find a lot of shoes that are falling apart at thrift shops, but if you find a pair that is from a really great bespoke brand or a brand like Ferragamo that is known for their shoes and they're a little run down, you take those to a cobbler and then it's like you have a brand new pair of those shoes that are already broken in for you. Wonderful tip to anyone who loves thrifting. Since I just talked about my most worn thrifted boots, I might as well talk about my least worn but also maybe favorite thrifted boots. For me, the brand that has always inspired the most confidence in fashion and luxury and just everything that's beautiful about clothing, it has always been Prada. Maybe that's because when I was a kid, I watched The Devil Wears Prada and it's like always been in my head as like, that's the brand. So I wanted a pair of Prada boots for the longest time. Found these in a thrift shop for $100. They're worn down, they're beat up, they look great. They're beautiful, they're shiny. They hurt like a bitch to walk in because there's no support anymore. And you know, for the Doc Martens, it is a point that I make, like, these are really uncomfortable, it's impossible to wear them. But the expectation for Doc Martens is there that they're supposed to be comfortable, they're supposed to be with bouncing soles and airwear. And I don't really think that that's like something that Prada is trying to push so much. They're more like, no, these are boots, you know? These are definitely a linea rosa because you can see the red line through them. And maybe if I added insoles, they'll be more comfortable, but honestly, they're so precious to me. I only break them out for formal events. You can't really dress these down in the same way that you can with the rest of my boots. They are fancy, and they should be worn at fancy places. And honestly, I spend a lot of time at home or just walking around, so I don't go to a lot of fancy places. And finally, we come to the last pair on this list, my new gifted shoes from a show. I love these so much. I've been wearing them all the time. I've always wanted a pair of white leather boots just to have, you know, and it helps that I was doing a fashion show and they had us wear these boots. Every single model was wearing them. We looked great in them, and then the designer at the end was like, you can keep them because they're white boots. No one can resell them afterwards. It's impossible. Even the guy from Camper Lab was there to be like, yeah, you guys are free to take them, because sometimes it feels a little weird for me taking a gift from a designer, especially an up-and-coming designer. But it was cool. It was really generous and really nice of them to offer that to us, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Thank you, New York Fashion Week. Let me talk about these boots. For me, these are just really comfy, really easy to throw on, really easy to clean too, because I can just kind of scrub in there with a toothbrush or a sponge, and then if it's a really bad mark, I can just kind of put white paint over it. So I've been kind of harsh on the whole Doc Martens brand this whole video, And I don't want you to think that I'm a hater, because I'm not. They have a different style that maybe doesn't mesh exactly super aligned with everything that I have in mind, but I still love what they're doing. I still like that they're an underdog brand for the most part, putting out shoes at a very affordable price point of the quality that they put out. My favorite thing that they do consistently though have to be these insoles. These are some of the most comfortable insoles I have used, and they don't make your shoes look like an old person's shoes. Not that Dr. Scholl's or like those other like blue ones or whatever are like only for old people, but these have some cool factor to them a little bit. Like you threw in Doc Martens into your shoes, you upgraded them, you gave them a little boost. So for me, since I am 10.5 in US sizes, a lot of the shoes that you get might be European sizes, which go 43 to 44, a 10 to 11. So in order to fix that, I'll throw a big Doc Martens insole into my boot, and then it'll fit a lot better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, leave a dislike if you disliked it. Tell me which pair of boots was your favorite in the comments, and let me know if there are any boots that you own and love and want me to know about as well. I am your host, Cardi, and thank you guys so much for watching. It's so much fun to do YouTube and just kind of ramble and speak my mind and have people watch it. So kudos to you, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys next week.